I'm Tammy Jones, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion.
I'm Linda Frank, and I'm the 2017 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Dana Aft, and I am the 2013 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Kenneth Brisbane, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion! Yes! Yeah, baby!
Good afternoon, Pool Player Nation. Welcome to the final round of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association and happening here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. We've got a rematch of the hot seat match that we saw 2 rounds ago. We've got Daniel Gambill from Hickory, North Carolina, going against Jason Sheerman, Port St. Lucie, Florida. Jason got the better of that matchup the first time around, but Daniel an opportunity to avenge that loss in this now single elimination round, race to 11. It's an extended race. Should be a great match. I'm Jason Bowman, joined by Jeremy Jones.
Here's our finals format. It's a race to 11, a combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. Max 8 games of 8-ball, max 13 games of 9-ball. The records are a race, so it's a single elimination final. And the winner of the coin toss chooses either the break or the format. It looks like these guys are ready to get going.
Starting in the 8-ball set.
Yeah, it's been a pretty common theme.
Looks like Jason will have the break as he takes a look at that rack. Again, Jason undefeated thus far. This is his first appearance in the U.S. Amateur Championship. Daniel Gambill, now looking over the rack, has been here 13 times, has finished as high as runner-up, so he will match that finish regardless of the outcome here, but I know that he likely is not going to be satisfied with that at this point, so wants his name on that U.S. Amateur Championship trophy. Should be a great match here.
Yeah, well, that 13 is a number we tend to think is not so lucky, but we'll see how it plays out for Daniel. I'll tell you one thing for Daniel. He picked it up in the semifinal, and I think that might lead into some good things for him here in the final. And another thing is, obviously Jason has played well, and I haven't got to see Jason play a ton of pool, but kind of feel like he hasn't played maybe his complete best game yet either. So hoping to see the guys play their best here in the final. And he's made a stripe on the break. He's got a 11 ball that's trouble, but he's got a few near it, and that's always a good sign of possibly being able to get the breakout. Doesn't really have a choice. He has to kind of take the 9 a little bit. Now what he's hoping to be able to do, I guess, is draw off this 12 and open up the 11. The thing about that is, man, you want to get into that 3, but you may get stuck to the 3. You may not come clean with the cue ball. It should have the 13, but you never know. Oh, he miscued. So he's going to get stuck here kind of pretty quickly. And I'd like to see if he maybe had the 14. If he has the 14, that's the ball I'd like to shoot. If he has the 14, he may be able to come up one rail and get on the 15 to where he can break out the balls. Okay, it looks like he's cueing kind of downward on it a little bit. Wonder if he's trying to stun into the 11 now. Okay, did pretty well. Got something out of it. Can he play the 13 off the 11? I think he can, and open up the 11 even more. Sometimes the players won't see this in situations, but definitely he can just bump the 13 in off the 11, I think, and be okay. And the good thing is he can slide down if he wants to get on the 15 in the side. Well, I guess the 11 goes in the side easily. Probably wanted a hair more out of the cue ball there, but so he's got to kind of ease this one in a bit. talked about it before. His wife finishing second. Okay, squeaked it in the ladies division. He's trying to do one-upper a little bit.
Yeah, he's guaranteed himself at least as solid a finish as his wife Julia, who took runner-up in the women's division.
Ooh, didn't expect that.
Daniel Gambill here out of Hickory, North Carolina.
Yeah, for such a small town, I talked about it before, produces a lot of really good pool players, some greats. Charlie Bryant comes from there, Tony Watson, Jeff Abernathy, probably a name you've heard in the APA amateurs before.
Yeah.
He's played in some of y'all's events, I know. I think he won one of y'all's in Vegas one time.
Daniel has a lot of experience here at the U.S. Amateur Championship.
Nice shot getting on the 3 there. He didn't want to wait. Didn't want to wait on that.
He's talking to Daniel before the match. Said he spent last night fishing there in the bay, brought his boat down. Said he caught some shark.
So he's ready. Battle tested, bringing one of them sharks in.
Conquered one shark, looking to conquer another, I guess.
Okay, he knows he's got to work the cue ball down for the 2 eventually. That'll be last. So it should be the 7-1-6. 7 stop shot, 6, and the 1 you roll forward a little bit, carrying a nice angle on the 6 to come back down. Wow, he put a lot into that cue ball there. Now he's gotten a little thin. He's got to ease this ball now. So definitely, you know, he wanted to pinch it back a little bit, but maybe the adrenaline, he got a little too much into the cue ball. Now he's got to ease it a little bit. He can go all the way to the head string, though, so don't feel like you got to baby it too much. Oh, he went ahead and went for the 2. Hey, and I'll tell you, that's a smart guy right there. Why shoot that tentative stroke when I can just work a little more? Now he has to go up and down the table, but, you know, that's something you preach in 8-ball not wanting to do. But when it's so clear like this, I kind of like his decision there on the 1 to go ahead and attack and come down on the 2. Watch outside pocket. All right, kind of got up off the ball a little quick there, so probably didn't get as much out of it as he wanted, but he's still okay.
Again, this is the championship final here in the U.S. Amateur. Final round. The victor here's name will forever be added to that Larry Hubbard trophy.
He's looking for a pocket. He's got to slow down a little bit. He's all right. You know, this is a different kind of deal here now that we have the extended race and we're playing 8 games. That's a lot, 8 games of 8-ball, right? So
up to 13 games of 9-ball, yeah.
Strategically picking the 8-ball, feeling like he's going to get a little more time at the table no matter what the outcome is.
Daniel Gambill picks up the first game in this race to 11. Brian, this cloth is relatively new. It was put on about 2 weeks ago, I think. Just enough time to get it, you know, some play on it, get it broken in a little bit. Players like to have some play on the cloth prior to a big tournament like this. So.
Yeah, and they just keep the conditions pretty perfect here at Strokers.
Daniel will have the break here. As Jeremy mentioned, we'll see 8 games of 8-ball before they switch to the 9-ball set. And depending on how things play out here, we could see up to 13 games in 9-ball.
Okay, second ball break. He's made the 5 in the corner. See that a lot with the second ball, though. You see how almost all of them are one side of the table. So
Yeah, that 6 fell on the side as well. Everything all to that side of the table, big time.
yeah,
In that lower quarter of the table.
I don't think I would try to make a ball at all here. This is just too difficult of an out to ask to be able to do. I mean, you have to have a lot of things happen correctly for you. And, you know, once you don't get run out, it's all about having soldiers on the table, right? You don't want to just have a couple of your balls left and really your opponent can kind of toy around with you a little bit.
Look at that traffic jam down there.
Jason, I'm going to step away. I'm going to let Raymond Linares
Yeah,
in the booth
go
for a
grab a
little
bite.
bit. Yeah, former champion. I'll be back shortly.
Jason Sheerman here at the table. Trying to navigate that traffic. Welcome in my buddy Raymond Linares, former U.S. Amateur Champion. What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going good.
Ah, nice.
Early start to a final here, isn't it?
Isn't that nice? Like, well, in one way it's nice, but yeah, it's good to see 2 good players, you know, make it to the finals. I'm really happy for Jason. He's a, you know, local here in Florida. He's a great guy, so I'm happy to see him get a chance to, you know, win the title.
I'm guessing you've come across both these guys at one time or another. Dan Gambill's been here quite a few times. I
Yeah.
know you've been here a lot. So
I was telling Dell that Daniel's been here since, at least since I've been playing in the U.S. Amateurs. The year that I won it in 2010, I played him on the winner's side. I think day 2 or day 3. So he was in the mix, you know, back then. And Jason, I know from, you know, local tournaments and stuff. Haven't seen him much in the last year or so because I've been playing less, but you know, I know he's doing well and been playing in, you know, some regional tournaments and local tournaments down in the southeast of Florida where he's from.
yeah, he and his wife Julia are.
I was telling him,
Quite the
if you don't
duo.
make the finals, you're not even going to be the best player in your own house. So it was kind of funny.
You have to clear the trophy mantle off.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy for both of them because Julia is also from Miami, from South Florida, where I'm from. So
Nice.
I've known her. Yeah, so it looks like we're in the 8-ball. Daniel's making his way through his rack. If he has a full enough hit on this 8-ball, he'll probably suck it up by the rail. If not, he'll come across and try and take an angle on the 4. And the problem is trying to get back up for the 1. Okay. He's got to hold the speed and not get trapped by that 12. Looks difficult because now that he doesn't have as big of an angle, you know, that stripe that's, you know, next to the ball near the corner is a big encumbrance. You know, it makes it hard for him to go forward and not collide. And then he's got traffic coming back this way, so you might even see him take the 1 and try and lay up by the side pocket.
Yeah,
If
you
he
could
can.
tell by his body language.
Yeah.
He was not thrilled with what he got there.
He just got a little thin on that 7-ball, and he couldn't really protect that angle like he wanted. So now he's just going to settle for the longer shot. And if he can lay up by the side, he'll, you know, you have this big clear path. It'll make it manageable to get on the 8. But he's got to come with a shot here. Nice shot. And perfect angle now. It's hard that the natural tendency is to want to go forward a hair, but you know, it's very easy to clip that 13, so you might see him just draw to the side rail and leave himself a shot on the 8 and the side. Yep, he calls the side. Good recovery there.
Daniel wanted to make sure that he thanked his mother, Barbara, of course his brother, Alan, who we've seen here at the U.S. Amateur Championship, and his girlfriend, Cassandra Hayes, for
Nice
all their
shot.
support. And he wanted to give a shout-out to his friends back at Randolph Billiards, Railbirds, and Shooters Lounge, all back in North Carolina as he takes a 2-0 lead here.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel plays with a 70-inch
I was
Tim
go-
Monk cue. That's a long cue.
I was going to say it might be the longest cue in U.S. amateur history.
Well, he's a tall guy.
Yeah,
He likes a
yeah.
long cue.
Yeah, Dell's also pretty tall. He plays long cue, but I think Daniel's got him out cued there. I wonder if it's built to length or if he's got an extension added on. You know, people are into kind of all that kind of stuff, so it's interesting.
So I see you've been playing some pool. Looks like you've taken up, is it one pocket that you've been playing?
No,
Straight
no.
pool?
Straight pool. Yeah, so I don't know what it was about this year, but I just wanted to kind of reset some new goals in pool. And, you know, it's been a hectic few years work-wise and stuff, so I haven't been playing as much. But in November, I started kind of practicing and playing again a little bit more. And this year, I wanted to start taking on some things that made me a little bit uncomfortable, and I really just started appreciating straight pool. And so I have a goal now of running 100 balls. I ran a 70 on my home table, which is pretty tight. It's a 4 1/4 inch Gold Crown 1 with old cloth, so it's like simulating like a, I don't know. John Schmidt says a tight table 70 ball run is like a 120 ball run, but I haven't run that yet, so that'll be probably one of my immediate goals is try and do that. And I might come here and try and do it because we have new cloth and the conditions will be nicer.
Right. Yeah, we were just talking about the cloth. About 2 weeks ago they refelted all these tables?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was Wes Burden is a local mechanic who comes in and does them, does a great job.
Yeah, nice job.
And he does a lot of tournaments and a lot of tables around the country, so he gets picked up to go do those installs. So he did that, which is always nice. I like the 2-week gap, too, because the tables are still playing new, but you're not dealing with that really uncomfortable slide that can be kind of conducive to some errors and some stuff from players that are used to really worn-in cloth, because the new cloth is a definite change. But
this is the championship final here at the U.S. Amateur. Some folks asking about that. This is Jason Sheerman at the table out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. Jason got the better of these two players in the hot seat match. Defeated Daniel Gambill. Daniel has worked his way back by way of knocking out the defending champ, Blake Baker. Great run for Blake, finishing in 3rd place here after dropping his first round match, too. Came all the way back.
That was a tough draw. I think it was him and Ernesto that played the first round.
Hill match in the first round.
That was a nice breakout shot by Jason. And speaking of straight pool, he's got a way to develop this 3-ball. If he can't see the 3 cleanly, he might play the 1 and then go off the 2 into the 3 or into that stripe near the 3 and have a 4 and a 6 as key balls or, safety insurance balls there to help him maintain position. And they're relatively close to the side, so he might be able to get position back down table. So he should just really focus on making the 1. Wow, he really stuffed that in there. High speed. Yeah, I still think that the 3 might not be 100% clear, but he's a little flat now on the 7, so you might see him have to really pop this ball in if he wants to try and come back out and get that angle off the 2 to go into the 3. Otherwise, maybe he does have the 3 in the corner, but yeah, I think he's going to punch it. Nice shot.
Fired that ball in there.
Yeah. It's one of those things sometimes where, maybe the 1 to preserve the angle on the 2 would have been a slower speed, but, you just want to make the ball. You don't want to feel like you leave it up to the table or, especially if he let go of that first game that he probably should have won. So kind of just an authoritative confidence thing, too, to make it with authority. So nice shot there. 3's free. He's just got to find a way to get on it. Might see him play one of these 2 balls in the corner and preserve an angle to come across for the 3. Ideally, if he can be where the 13 is, that's great. So, shooting the 4 and then playing the 6 in the side type of thing, or vice versa, and coming across for the 3. Even if he's up by the 15, and gives himself a cut at it, he might be able to come up with a shot. But look, he's going to play the 6 in the side, it looks like. I'm not sure if I like that because now you're moving that 4 ball as well, and you're you're relying on a good angle afterwards. So yeah, he's going to play the 6 in the corner, which I think is a good shot. Oh, he went for the 3 right away. Good effort.
This is Jason's first appearance in the U.S. Amateur Championship. I know he's a very accomplished player in the state of Florida, however, so not a huge surprise to see him here in the final, but always interesting to see guys that come in for the first time able to be really successful like that. I know Blake was another one that came in first time and managed to get to the finals. Raymond did the same. So
it's one of those things where, you know, people might not know who you are and what you're up to, but if you're putting in the work, you know what I mean? It's really just about timing. And I know Jason, for a couple years, he has alternating weekend schedules, and it seemed like for a couple years, every weekend that there was a tournament, he had work. And it was just like he just couldn't get out and play, couldn't get out and play, couldn't get out and play. And that's frustrating sometimes. But he's due, you know, a good tournament win. I had him as one of my favorites to win the tournament because he's solid and even-tempered. He's got a good all-around game. And it's good to see him in the finals.
a lot of Floridians represented here at the U.S. Amateur Championship.
That's a bad miss there. Yeah, it was nice to see the women's
all
top
Floridian
three.
final. Yeah, top three were all from Florida, weren't they? That's
all
right.
Florida. Jeannie was my favorite to win. And it was nice to see Julia and Deanna in there as well. Looks like Daniel has a good opportunity here to win another game and take a 3-0 lead. This is a pretty simple pattern. He wants to be above this 13 if he can, and then come down for the 9 and then go up table for the 10. Just like that. Now here you just want to make sure that you preserve an angle on the 9. He's a little bit high, so he might hit this with a hair of inside English. He had a similar issue in the last rack where he ended up having to go up table and back down table, not securing just the right ideal angle on a ball like this where there was 2 balls in the kitchen and 1 ball up table. And so instead he had to go kind of up and down and still made the clearance. But if he can't follow, he might he might just try and draw this back to the side cushion and keep kind of more short side safe. But I think just slow with a little inside. Yeah, that's good.
Daniel said his father, Ronald Gambill, who unfortunately passed away, was a huge influence in him getting involved in pool. He said his dad used to be very supportive, enjoyed traveling with him to the pool tournaments he would go to. So I love hearing stories like that about how
that's great.
Dad introduces or mom introduces, you know, or a brother, family affair for pool. You got your little one playing pool yet?
She's still too little. She's only 17 months,
Yeah.
but maybe down the line.
Yeah.
I don't want to push it on her.
Sure.
But definitely help facilitate. I was just at the Junior International Championship in Orlando, and there were some wonderful stories of young players.
Martinez brothers, I hear,
The
are
Martinez
forced to
brothers,
be reckoned with.
this little kid, Adrian Pradesh, who he says his goal is to be world #1, be in the Mosconi Cup. He's like 13. He won his division. He says he practices 6 hours a day.
Wow.
Has family support. This little kid, Jaws, and his brother, Sniper, I think. Family out of the Maryland area. Mom, dad, sisters, brothers all play pool. So
Wow.
they kind of use the home table as their way to keep together and working and stuff during kind of all the COVID stuff. So it's really encouraging to see that. Dee Atkins as well was there, who's a former world all-around champion and has a facility in Ohio where juniors are welcome at any time to come practice for free. So really interesting to see the next generation kind of being brought up.
Absolutely.
Because I remember wanting that when I was younger and not having it.
Yeah.
My parents not really knowing about pool. So it wasn't until I was about 16 or 17 that I really got plugged in.
Well, Daniel Gambill off to a great start here in this race to 11. Already 3 games.
Is it 8 games of
8 games of 8 ball?
Yeah.
13, up to 13 games of 9 ball.
Right.
So this will be the 4th game of the 8 ball set, about halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Good start for Daniel. He has the break here.
Is he breaking? Oh, he's breaking head ball, but from the side rail. That's interesting. All right, looks like a good opportunity here for Jason to maybe get a game on the board. It looks like stripes are ideal, but really both groups are workable. But you know, this stripe by the side is a good entry ball. That 12 will help get him around, and then he's got to worry about the 10 on this side. Looks like he's going to go for the 10 first and attack these bottom balls since the other balls are accessible. I like that, actually. Nice shot to come across. We might actually see him play this 15 up in the corner and then play the 11 and then clean up this last stripe on the bottom rail, the 14. Because the 15 is a problem in getting to it. Looks like it only goes in the 2 side pockets or up table in that corner past the 9. So probably see him, even though it's, you know, it's a longer shot, if he can just control with a little, you know, favorable making speed and give himself a shot in the 11, then all the rest of the, you know, the openings are there.
Got to be the quietest final we've ever seen here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Only about maybe...
Don't rub the 9. Yeah.
Maybe about 20 people here in the room, which is not typical of the final day. But again, with everything going on, I think a lot of folks opting to take in this match here on the stream, which is great. Certainly happy to have you folks tuning in to this championship finale in the U.S. Amateur.
Yeah, the problem with that 15 ball, you know, I guess to hold it, you wanted to roll the ball, and it can be a little nervy doing that if you don't want to just cinch it and pinch it, but he might have lost position. So now Daniel has the opening. He's going after this 5 ball right away, get rid of it. And then if he can just come up by the side, he'll have the 7 and then access to the 4, the 2, and the 6. And it should be smooth sailing for a 4-0 lead to start. I mean, dream start for Daniel. A little light there, I think. I think I might have targeted going up to the 7 all the way, because then I have options on how to approach these balls. Now he's forced to take the 6 and come across. Still not a problem, still manageable, but and he plays that nice. Now he's going to go into the 11 ball with the off the 7, which means he'll probably be a little straight on the 4. It might be limited with what he can do with the cue ball. Goes in the 11. A little bit elevated bridging maybe. So now he's got to roll up and play the 2 in the side, which is now angle dependent. He's got to really come across and check his angle, unless he just wants to cheat the pocket and draw back. But we'll see what he does. He does that, just draws back. There you go. This is ideal now because you can just stun straight across the hair draw, shoot the 8 in the same pocket.
Chance to go up 4-0 here.
Yeah, great. This is a great start for Daniel. It really, and one of the things too, playing in a big match like this is just getting to that place where you can be calm.
Yeah.
You know, if you can just play calm and play your game and get relaxed, then you can start tapping into some higher levels of play. And it kind of compounds on your opponent, you know, when they feel the heat a little bit of you putting pressure on them and, you know, starting to open up your stroke and that kind of stuff. And then they maybe have some errors about what they did wrong in their head, and it can be a compounding effect there.
Daniel will again have the break here. Looking to extend that lead even further. Again, this is a race to 11. Single elimination in the finals.
Right.
Each round leading up to this was a race to 7, so need a few more games this time around.
It's good to see did Daniel have a top 3 finish before?
Daniel finished runner-up 2016 to Brian Parks. I know you know
Okay.
Brian pretty well.
Right, that's right. So he's not a stranger to this stage.
Absolutely not. No, he's a guy that we've seen here 13 times. This is now his 13th appearance. Gonna
That's
get that
amazing.
6 ball, not quite.
Yeah, that's great. It's such a good event too. I hear a lot of people talk about just how nice it is to see an event where it's about prestige, it's about honor, it's about, you know, the game and the, you know, all that stuff, and not maybe so much focused on you know, money and stuff like that.
I think we saw a record number of preliminary entries this year.
Yeah,
Part of
I
that
bet.
because we had the multiple windows where you could qualify, which helped. But
And people talk a lot about like the skill level of certain players
hmm
and some high-level players that play, but it's not an easy tournament to win. And you've had some good players with high Fargo rates that just still haven't won the tournament. So it shows the quality of the competition, and it's a good event. And then the prize is awesome. I guess, is it still the U.S. Open entry fee?
Yeah,
Is that what
well,
we're doing?
typically that's what the player
Yeah,
chooses. Yeah,
right.
is the U.S. Open. Of course, pool tournaments have been a little out of whack over the last
Right.
12 months. So I
Sure.
know, like Blake, still waiting to play in the U.S. Open because he couldn't do it last
That's
year when
right.
it was canceled.
Yeah.
And
And to be honest, that was the only time I was able to play the U.S. Open was the year that I won this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And back then the entry fee was $500. Now it's gone up
1,000,
to
right?
1,000. Yeah. So it's it's a special opportunity for sure.
That event now run by the folks over at Matchroom,
Yeah, fantastic.
same group that does the Moscone Cup.
I think they've taken up the Worlds as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. And I think the Worlds has needed that for a little while just to get that, boost in prestige and kind of just the whole operational side of it. It's nice.
Well, Jason Sheerman here looking to cut into Dan Gamble's lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks he's in a bad spot a little bit. I kind of don't like him taking any more balls off the table. I kind of look for Jason to play a developing safety of some kind that will improve his position. Unless he's just going to go full tilt and make the 15, which looks like he's going for it, but he's just, kind of, I guess he was hoping to take the 12 in the side and try and break out that cluster and see what happens from there. But it's kind of diminishing returns if you start chasing. The positions favor solids right now, and if you take stripes off the table, like those two balls are soldiers right now, I might have liked to see him bank something over by that corner and take away that corner pocket from the 3 and the 5-7, because if he can get if this combo were to be aligned that Daniel's looking at now, that's bad news. It doesn't look like it clears the 14, but that's the value of the 14 being there. Otherwise, Daniel would have an easy run out. Now he's got to manufacture something. So you might see him play the 2 in the corner, go to the side cushion, and use the 6 maybe to go into those 2 balls and have the 3 as a key. That kind of thing. Or play for the 3 and go into them and use the 6 as a key, something like that. That way he can, develop those last 2 balls, and then, the rack will be open. But if Jason had banked the 15 by this corner, none of that goes away. That's why I kind of like doing that instead. So Daniel's going to keep the 6 by the corner, and as an insurance ball, it looks like, and maybe try and, if he can, I'm not sure if he has enough of the ball. Ideally, he'd be higher, like by 6 inches, and they have a full hit. He can just stun right into the 7, break it out, and then have the 6 as a backup. That's some straight pull stuff there that I'm learning. But it translates into your 8 ball, especially in your 8 ball, probably most directly. Just, So anyways, here he's going off the 6. I kind of like him going into the 7 if he can. Split the 7-4. That's ideal. And, high probability of getting a shot going that way. He had the 3 there as well to help get him out. But looks like he's going to go for the 7 ball now. He's just going to manage getting an angle on it. He might even play 2 rails for the 4, which might be nice. Off the 7, 2 rails to the 4 on the side, and then play the 3 from there. See that? Basically stop shot on the 4, maybe
Nice.
drop back a hair, and he's got a 1 rail position to the 8, and he's out. Unless he's, perfectly straight in on the 3 or something, and then he can just draw back. But it's up to him. But it's natural. It's built in, and he has options, and I think that's the right way to play, your patterns, where you have a couple options just in case, and you're never putting all your eggs in just one basket.
Well, we started the day with 8 players. We're down to the final 2 here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Third day of competition.
Yeah, he's going to go for the 3 and stun. He's played this kind of shot a couple times where he's followed to the cushion and back out, kind of like a stroke thing. The only thing about that is it's very speed dependent. So if you don't come through the ball there, like he didn't follow all the way through because he's kind of doing a half follow, half stun stroke. And now he's a little bit out of line, and he's got to come with a tough shot. So I think maybe in hindsight, maybe playing the 4 to the side there and using the 3, if it was accessible, might have been easier. Nice shot on the 1. And unfortunately, he's going to be hooked here. And that's just a problem. You know, that's why I mentioned earlier for Jason, I didn't like him taking soldiers off the field, you know. And now this extra couple balls is actually proving to be a value add for him, might actually win him the game. So even though you don't maybe see the end from the beginning here, you know, the percentages will tell you, you know, if you're not going to run out, try not to take off so many balls off the table, because it could benefit you inadvertently if a player doesn't get,
Need
you know,
a few
shaped.
hiding spots.
Exactly, yeah. And that doesn't mean that Jason will just get, you know, sometimes he'll kick and leave you awkward and you might have to play safe again, you know, and that's, but, you know, the odds are in your favor if you have 5 balls on the table and your opponent has 1 and they don't get out. So Daniel looks like he's got a jump cue out. He's very tall, so he shouldn't have a problem reaching this. You can see from the table perspective there. So he just got to really land on the ball.
Yeah.
He just clipped. He looked like he was on a really good line, and he was trying to get down on the ball fast, so he just grazed the top of that stripe, and gave Jason ball in hand. So Jason needs to clear up here and get on the board. The only problem is this, you know, this pattern with this 9 and 15 is kind of weird. So it's almost like you want to play them first. Like you might play the 9 on the side and then the 15 in the corner and come out to the middle and get to that 14, and then, you know, attack the 11 and 12. It's kind of a little bit of awkward situation, but I mean, it's available there. You know, just pick off these 2 balls. I don't like him drawing back. I like him going forward to the middle personally. So he did stun forward, but it was like, I don't, the elevated cue, I don't know why. And I think I just would have level cued, gone forward. If you have ball in hand, you know, just pick your line and follow out to the middle, and then you've got an angle that you can come back to the middle and have all 3 balls potentially. You know, it's not a lot of pressure. So I'm not sure why he chose to stun there, and it might just be a little bit of clouded thinking. He's just got to settle it down. And then for those of you watching, if you ever have the option to go follow or draw with ball in hand, highest percentage is to follow the ball. So Daniel going for a nice draw shot. That's got to be a big reprieve for him. And again, these things kind of compound. You get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more relaxed. Your opponent makes an error.
A little more confidence.
You get more confident. You start making these kind of a little bit more awkward shots. You may hit that ball with a good stroke, and, you know, the match can get away from you. So Daniel's going to call this 8 ball in the corner. Nicely done.
Out to a 5-0 lead.
Looks like we're going to have Jeremy step back in the booth.
All right, Raymond.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you stopping by, buddy.
Yeah.
Always good to see you. Take care.
Hope to see you guys at the next one, and go play pool, guys.
That was Raymond Linares, former U.S. Amateur Champion. Stepped in for a moment for Double J while he grabbed a bite to eat. Raymond, another great player here in the Tampa area. Very knowledgeable about the game, as you heard. Always good to hear some of his analysis. Jeremy, while you were away, Daniel Gambill has opened up a sizable lead in this race to 11. I know there's still a long way to go, but boy, each game now just becomes a window of hope, just kind of slightly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we talk about it in all the sports, the first and the last, right? The first game's the hardest at the win, and the last. So getting on that board for Jason is, you know, but you got to give it to Daniel as well. I know we've seen some mistakes by Jason. He's tried to make some runouts from some tough positions, so that happens in 8-ball. Can kind of make you look foolish at times, be honest with you. But I really think that, I said it at the beginning, that Daniel loosening up in that semifinal, I think, might really carry over, because you could tell he was a little tight in the hot seat match. So
Yeah, he's looked a lot more comfortable here.
yeah, well, he got to looking better and better every shot in that semifinal. So, and guess what? He beat the reigning champion as well. So that's got to really like boost you up, especially a guy that's been mowing them down on the loser side like Blake was. Tell you what, though, I was outside after the match, and Blake didn't take it hard. He had his little baby girl out
Beautiful
there.
baby
yeah,
girl. I saw her.
really, really cute girl, and she's going to be one on April 1st.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was thinking, man, does Jason change the strategy? Like I commented a minute ago, he was trying to run out from some very difficult spots. And we all know about 8-ball, when you don't get out, you're a big underdog. So I'm wondering if he maybe changes it up and doesn't try to run out from some tough spots, maybe play the more tactical part of 8-ball. Because like right here, he's got to go for a breakout on the 6. Well, if you don't get a shot on the 6, you can see everything else is covered up, right? So maybe the 6 goes in the corner. That would be awesome. But still, you can see a 3-ball that goes, technically a 5-ball that goes, that'll open up the 1, but nothing easy. Looks like he's going for the breakout. So he needs to get shape on the 6. Got to get a shot on the 6. Is it going to agree? And that's what I mean. You just got to take a chance sometimes, and you know, if you're playing shape on the ball you're breaking out, you can't determine where it's going to go. And now he's trying to, excuse me, find somewhere to run. I'm not really sure what else he can do. Maybe chip the 3 and go the end rail with the cue ball. Maybe lay on top of the 6 or something, maybe, and just leave a tough shot for Dan. Okay, he's going to try and bump the 6 up a little bit, though. Can't contact the 8. Yeah, that's going to leave him a shot on the 10 and actually open the 12 up to where it goes. So real close to getting exactly what he wanted, but actually it worked very much against Jason. Dan's in a great spot to go up 6-0 here. You can see they're all real tidy, the 9 and 15. Now you don't want to usually leave the 12. You know, you want to play a ball close to the 8 at the end, but when it's real close and there's a little of the congestion, you probably don't want to leave that one. So I'd like to pick off this 15. Probably something like the 11, 12, and then the 14 last. You can do it a few different ways, but that looks like the most simple cue ball movement also. Now he's looking at the 14 next and drawing back on the 11 and the 12, and nothing wrong with that.
In the corner there.
All right, he's got to draw the cue ball here. So he can't be short and really can't afford to be on the rail either. So I think I'm shooting the 11, 12, 14 last myself, but I think this is totally correct. Yeah, this just makes it to where you're not too worried about much. Excuse me. Now he's looking at the 14. 14 next and holding on the 12 to get on the 8. Thing is, you don't want to have to run into the 3 when you're shooting the 12, so probably wants to pinch this cue ball back 6 or 7 inches. That's pretty good. Now what do you do here, Jason? I mean, he's a little off angle. Do you follow and bump the 8 forward? You just hold right there easily? Okay, nice shot.
Well, with each ball, Daniel Gambill seems to grow just a little more confident, Now up 6-0 in this race to 11. 2 more games to go in the 8-ball set, but he is so far looked pretty exceptional.
Yeah, I know. Talked about it from the first match on in this tournament that, you know, the player that doesn't let the setting really let's say, you know, direct their rhythm and their, you know, their brain a little bit is going to have an advantage throughout this tournament. And you can see Dan, I mean, he does do a little thinking, but he's not overthinking for sure. Staying pretty loose with the right arm. And now up 6-0 in this race to 11.
Daniel previously finished as the runner-up in this event back in 2016. This marks his 13th appearance in the U.S. Amateur Championship. So,
and you said it was Brian Park, I think you said that?
Finished runner-up to Brian Park.
Now he's changing the break, and I don't know if I would do that. I know he's not made some balls, but the thing is you're changing what's winning, right? Like you're changing what's been working for you. And that's been those tough tables with Jason trying to get out on those tough tables. Now he's changed to the head ball break, which is going to create a big opening if he doesn't make one. So I understand the thought of, and actually I was just talking to a good friend of mine about that right before I got back in the booth. We were sitting there watching the match, and Dan was breaking in the last, and I was like, "You don't change the break, do you?" And he's like, "No, if it's you're winning games, you don't change the break right there in the 8-ball." Now 9-ball, you can sit there and say, "Man, I'm not making balls, but it's just fortunate I'm still winning games after not making balls, so I got to make balls in the 9-ball." But in the 8-ball, sometimes you don't make balls and it works out. Your opponent tries to run out and they don't get out. It makes things a little easier on you. All right, coming all the way back with the cue ball. And for instance, like right there, you know, that first shot, he made a good shot. I might have still shot that same ball, but went ahead and got the 6 out of there. 6 isn't doing me much good, but he's in a prime position now. So probably want to work off the 4 to the 6, then use the 6 to come up to the 5, use the 5 to get on the 8. See Daniel off in the top left of your screen, just waiting for another opportunity.
Again, they're going to play 8 games of 8-ball. Then they'll switch to the 9-ball set. And again, depending on how far into this race we go, we can see up to 13 games there.
Okay, like I said, we'll see how he wants to play this. If possible, I'd like to get on the 6 now. With the 12-ball there, I just don't like going from the 5 to the 6. If the 12 wasn't there, no problem. But I think he goes ahead and gets on the 6 now. And a little bump. Okay. Fell kind of straight. So still not out of the woods to try and get his first game here in the final race to 11, 2021 U.S. Amateurs. That's a great camera work there. He can't cheat the pocket really to the good side to move the cue ball easily. May be able to pound it to the rail, but he can't afford to catch like the 15. Okay, he's going to draw the cue ball. That's what I like.
Again, this final match is single elimination. Extended race. So instead of a race to 7, it is a race to 11. But it is single elimination at this point. Jason Sheerman now on the board, trailing 6-1.
Here, a few claps there. Florida boy.
He will have the break.
In the final game of the 8-ball.
Yes, sir. One more game of 8-ball. And a great week here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Make sure we thank our hosts, Jose Del Rio, the owner, and his staff here, taking great care of all of our participants this year, doing everything they can to keep everybody healthy and safe that's been here. Really appreciate all their work. If you're down this way and you're looking to play pool, you can't go wrong by stopping in Strokers here.
Yeah, you got a great cue guy too, from what I've heard. Rolando also does a bit of teaching. A really good player. Also made a good run in this tournament.
Yeah, I meant to go look and see how Rolando did.
I'm guessing around top 16, maybe 17 through 24, something like that.
Let's see. Yep, you got it. Finished 17th. Tied for 17th. Nice run for him.
Lost a Hill match in the 4th round of the winner's side. I think it was the 4th round.
Yeah, and it looks like he was knocked out late. Well, not that late last night, but Johnny Griffin, who ended up finishing in the top 8 here.
I was very impressed with him. I had to make a phone call on him back home.
Yeah, he's a Texas guy, right?
Well, he's originally from North Carolina,
Yeah,
but he moved there a few years ago.
He runs an APA league in Texas.
Yeah, in Pearland, I believe. But I felt like it was old times back in the day when, who is this son of a gun right here? Let me call somebody. Actually, way back then when we had to page somebody and then we had to wait for the call back. So,
Taking it back to the 90s.
I'm sure you had a beeper too.
No, no beeper for me. My
Really?
parents wouldn't allow it. Yeah, back in the 90s. I had friends with beepers. And then, of course, we were onto the cell phones, late 90s, early 2000s.
Well, my parents, they didn't do that either, but as I got of age and worked myself, I paid for my own.
Yeah.
So back in the day, you really couldn't go on the road playing pool without the pager. And I had some friends that, had cell phones much earlier than I did. I didn't get my first till 99, I think it was, when AT&T came out with the one-rate plan.
Yeah.
I wasn't. My friends were paying those, $1,200, $1,300 phone bills a month. I was like, well, yeah, that's not me.
Yeah. Crazy how the technology has changed things.
Yeah. All right, a lot of work here. You can see a 13 that's very covered up. I think he did the right thing here, but he's got to get on the 9 again, so I'm wondering why he's maybe not taking that 9 on the side. He's going to try and make this off the 13 like that. Tell you what, the guy's pretty crafty. Pretty crafty. He's okay. He wanted to maybe get the 13 right then, but it's okay. He's all right. He's still got to get on that 9 at some time or another, but the 15 may help him out there. I think he's got to roll this. What is this? The 10 ball that's on the side rail here, and just try and fall on the 15. Just roll this in lightly. You're hoping to get on the 15 here to create something for the 9. He's overcut it. He's overcut it. First chink of armor, chink in the armor we've seen from Dan in this set. Ball's open now for Jason, though, and I mean, I hate to ever label a game a must, but you might think it's close to that, right? 9 ball, I mean, on paper you might say Jason's a little favorite in the 9 ball, but we talked about it through the last few days. At 9 ball, you exchange games. It's more of a long-term thing. As when you're just a little favorite, you can't expect to win a bunch of games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Possible, but hard to expect. So he's wondering, do I take on the 7 to get on the 4 now? It's not necessary, but I think it's correct. And the 4 goes in the side, so he's got tons of options. Okay. I don't know if he got away with this or not, this miss right here. If he can get at the 13, Dan's in a great spot. If he can get at this 13 ball. And he doesn't look too upset about it. So it's going to be the 13. I thought he'd try to get a little closer to his work. Now he's got to make a long, tough 12 ball. And he really needs to draw the cue ball a little bit. Oh, he's got a 10 hanging up in the corner. I didn't see that. Okay, good shot. Might have questioned that one there. if he missed there, Jason, just because he's playing so good. He maybe doesn't want to take a missable ball, but he's in a good spot now. Nice and heavy on the 15 to where he can draw the cue ball back for the 9. Now it's imperative he gets on at least close to straight in on the 9. That looks perfect. And kind of drifted to the rail. But a very routine 8-ball to win 7 out of 8 to open this match. Kind of hard to believe, huh, Jason?
Certainly hard to believe based on what we saw from Jason Sheerman in the hot seat match when these two played, but I don't know if it's as much about Jason as much as Daniel just seems to be playing much better than we saw in that particular match. Now leading, as you said, 7-1. That'll close out the 8-ball set. And folks, he's 4 games away from putting his name on that trophy.
Yeah, and you know, he snookered himself in the one game that Jason won. I believe that's the game I'm thinking of, but I think it was only really one miss by Dan the entire 8 games. So Jason, at some time or another, a lot of times you want to like win a game and take that break to get a little confidence when you go on the break, but I may if I was in this corner, tell him, hey, as soon as you get time with a good shot, take your break, settle yourself, you got to regroup. I think he's going to loosen up during the 9-ball, that's for sure. That's generally the norm.
See what Daniel wants to do with his break here.
Oh, he broke great against Blake in the 9-ball.
Mm-hmm.
Really well. He broke and ran 2, I think, in the match, so. Well, length is power, and easy powers, and we know he's a long guy, so producing power shouldn't be the problem. Watch out, cue ball. He's made the 5. I don't know if he's going to have a real great offensive shot here to start, but the 1-4 is a little thin to cut back on that. Now, he could just roll this to the rail and just kind of go into the 9 lightly with the cue ball and use the 8 as a big snooker here. This is pretty simple safety if you keep it simple. Just nice and light. All right, that'll work as well. And I think he's cut off the jump. I don't think that's really an option. Jason's got a 2-rail kick by the 8, and he's got a 1-rail kick, kind of like the same path the 1 took whenever Dan played safe. But you can see, though, pretty open table. So whoever gets that first shot.
If you're just joining us, this is the championship round of this year's U.S. Amateur. Race to 11.
Should hit this. Went a little long.
Daniel Gambill will have ball in hand here.
All right, should be roll the 1 in the side, come up for the 2. He's going to draw, it looks like. Normally you'd want to roll forward off of this ball instead of draw. You're always going to have a little bit better touch rolling the ball. And to be honest with you, you never miscue rolling the ball. I'm not saying you should ever think about the miscue when you're drawing it, but it is a factor. So I like Daniel turning that around and rolling into position. Just never really going to make a mistake shooting it like that. Your speed's always going to be pretty good, if not perfect. Got a little straight here. Could roll forward and take the 3 in the side if he wants. You can draw back to the rail. Maybe he'll cheat this. Yeah, I like that. Okay, it's really just the 4 to the 6. The 7's hanging. Should be easy to work the cue ball off the 7 to the 8. So he'll want to draw this maybe a foot, foot and a half back to get a little natural angle to go by the 8 and come up for the 6. I think anyways. Yeah, that's about the angle I was thinking. Now the only worry he has is, of course, dodge that right side pocket. One just above the 6. Use your touch to float into there. Watch out. It's going that way. Watch out.
Uh-oh.
Watch out.
Ooh.
A little sweater on a Sunday afternoon.
Need a little sweater on this Sunday afternoon. It's kind of cool out there. A little chilly for Florida.
Okay, he's kind of ease this out. Use a little thin hit. It's got to slow down a little bit too, but I think it's actually going to be perfect. Like I said, just real loose, not second guessing himself at all. Just, you know, going with what he sees, keeping the arm loose, and just putting on a kind of a clinic.
Now up 8-1 in this race to 11. We might be seeing 13 years of frustrations all playing out here. Finally, everything kind of coming together for Daniel Gambill. Really impressive thus far here in this championship finale. He'll once again have the break in the 9-ball set.
And
I'm going to make sure I mention our sponsors, Action Cues, folks over at PoolDog.com, Valley Dynamo, and Aramith Billiard Balls, the premier billiard balls in all of Pool.
all right. I'm sure he's going to stick to that break from the side rail. What would be his left side rail? That's where he stayed. Oh, he is changing it a little bit.
He goes back and forth, doesn't he?
Yeah, can't get a beat on him. That's for sure. Really efficient with both. Watch out, cue ball.
One,
How's
the
the 2
8.
going to help him? Watch out, cue ball.
Oh, 4 knocks that cue ball in the top pocket, so scratch there
Yeah.
with just 6 balls on the table.
Yeah, he's made 3, and he would have had a nice shot, you would think, with the 2 ball over the side. Now, as the 8 past the 9, immediately Jason's looking at that, and I kind of noticed the 8 roaming down the table. Let's see if it's going to agree. So, kind of made a hand gesture like it doesn't go. So, you know, not only just a few mistakes, but mainly Dan just playing really phenomenal. Excuse me. Things working against Jason a little bit. He's going to have, I don't think the 8 goes. Maybe it does. He's moving the cue ball. Is he entertaining trying to touch the 8 right here? The way you put the cue ball there, that makes me think he's trying to go into the 8. Got to be careful. Going to come from the back side, it looks like, too.
Got it.
Yeah, nice shot. Trying to gather himself a bit. Nice shot. A lot of pressure on that shot. You look at that score right there. That's
Agreed.
a ball that can be bobbled, you know.
Yeah,
so
agreed. Well, we'll see if this gets Jason going here. Maybe just needed a little window of opportunity.
I'll talk about it all the time, that when a player is maybe not, you know, playing their best, or, you know, things not going their way, ball in hand seems to change that just quicker than anything. All right, that's got to go a little. Yeah, a little bit of a tester here. A little bit anyways. One he should be able to handle, but he would have liked another, 6 inches out of the cue ball maybe. Great shot. Good cue ball control. He's got choices here. He can come out 2 rails and come across the 9 for the 9 in the side. He can go 1 rail up to that position also. He can play the 9 in the upper corner. So lots of choices here. When you're close to it like this, that's when it is your choice a little bit more, how you prefer. When you get a little longer shots, there's a little more standard way to do things, but I'm sure you can't wait to break the balls in the 9 ball here, get something going.
So Jason picks up another game. Daniel Gambill now leads 8-2. Jason Sheerman will have the break. Looking to build some momentum off that game. Third game of the 9-ball set here. I will say, Jeremy, one of the things I saw earlier from Jason in that match with Jason Jones this morning, the 9 a.m. match, they were pretty even through the 8-ball set. Once they got in a 9-ball, Jason Sheerman really took control of that match. So we'll see if he can build on that that last game here.
Yeah, not taking anything away from his 8-ball game, but I think he gets a little looser and, doesn't squeeze so much with the cue ball.
Ball drops.
Yeah. Watch out 3. Is the 3 going to tie up a little bit? It's close. Great starter on the 2, though. So if the 3 goes, it should be able to run out here. As long as he knocks the 2 in. The 2 looks like might be one of the tougher shots of the rack. And he shrugged a little bit. Tells me the 3 doesn't go. So we'll see if he wants to power up and really move the cue ball to the backside of the 3 somehow. Oh, what a stroke. What a stroke that was. Is he going to get this kind of roll? Wow. What a shot he made there. He really let the stroke out, really gripped the cue ball beautifully to come back into those balls. And 9 ball's a brutal game sometimes. You have to, like I said, take some chances. And, man, what a bad roll that was. Now, he'll want to come 3 rails behind this, just to the backside of that 3, and try and kick the 3 up table. Yeah, right there where he's pointing. Try and kick the 3 up table. Maybe make it in the side. But he's trying to create some separation between the cue ball and the 3. Thing is, he's got to put a little speed on this, though. If you don't put enough speed, you might not get a rail with the 3 or the cue ball. Oh, great shot. Great shot. And I don't know. I think the 6 may have gotten him a little, no? hard to tell on this. Of course, looking at the TV. Yeah, it looks like maybe he does. It's not makeable. Really a beautiful kick shot there by Jason. Is he just crossing this over maybe?
Look at this.
Is he going for the bank? I don't blame him. He was in a tough spot. Another missable ball from, you know, anytime you get that 6-7 feet away. Definitely possibility of missing. Cueing is at a premium. Nice shot there. Nice shot. In line now. Doesn't really have to do much with the cue ball.
Again, if you're enjoying our coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship, we'd encourage you to hit that little share button there on your Facebook page. Try to get a little more exposure for these two great players, as well as their sponsors and their supporters. We are oh so close to 1,000 viewers. We'd love to get over that number. So if you could just do us a favor and hit that share button. My buddy Richard Andrews with a reminder about that. Thank you, Richard. Love to push that right over the 1,000 mark.
All right, putting a couple of games together for the first time in this match. Looks like anyways. Needs more than that, though.
One at a time. And we've seen his break in 9 balls been pretty good, so he can just hold the table here. We saw him put together, I think, 2 or 3 racks this morning in a row before his opponent had a chance to shoot again. So,
well, you know, already looking to win more tournaments, but he already has a couple under his belt that are pretty darn good. Pretty nice wins. The Ginky Memorial, which always carries a lot of really good, if not top players in it. That's up in New York. All right. Overdrew a little bit on the 8. I don't mind that, though, because that means to me he was, you know, not trying to cinch the ball too much. So that's what he's going to need to make this comeback.
all right, another one on the board for Jason Sheerman. Slowly but surely pulling himself back into this match.
I thought for sure you were going to say slowly but surely.
Slowly but Sheerman?
Yeah, Sheerman, there you go.
Slowly but Sheerman.
After you said that, Sheerman, slowly but surely. I would have probably messed that up. It's a little tongue twister, I guess.
Whew, we've called some matches, huh? We get a little slap happy after a while.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When you've been talking pool for 12 hours a day, it seems like. Kara's giving me the, I don't know what's up hand. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, and then I got to go think about pool after that because I'm always jealous of just sitting here watching. So go home thinking about my own game.
117 players made their way down here to Tampa. We are down to the final 2. Duking it out for that coveted U.S. Amateur Championship trophy. Trying to etch their name into the record books, if you will. One of my favorite things about this event is when you see the former champions come in and they see the trophy, they locate their name, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times they'll snap a quick picture of it, that kind of thing. All right.
Yeah, I saw Dale Sim make a funny post on day number 2 and going into his 3rd match on the winner's side. He had a picture of the trophy, something or another. I can't remember the remarks, but I figured it was Raymond's old. Raymond let him borrow his. You know, all the players, they get their own little personal trophy along with, you know, the name on the one that stays in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Or near St. Louis, right?
Yeah. It stays right there in our. So back at the office, we got the Larry Hubbard Memorial. It's actually a big case that has Larry's Hall of Fame jacket, and the USAM trophies reside there year-round when they're not here. And as you mentioned, each winner takes home their own version of the U.S. Amateur Championship trophy, which if you've never seen it, it's more work of art than trophy, really.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sculpted piece and pretty impressive thing. Weighs about 50 pounds. It's a
That
heavy.
much?
It's a
Wow.
heavy. Yeah, the Larry Hubbard trophy, even heavier because it's got a bigger base to it. So.
All right, nice shot there, opening the 3, and with a nice speed. And he got the cue ball to escape a little bit to where he's not elevated over the 7 or the 3 or the 6. So now he needs, I mean, it's not crucial, but he needs pretty good speed on here. He doesn't want to have to shoot the 3 and go into the 6 or the 7 with the cue ball. So he'd love to replace the cue ball where it's at now. That may be a little far to run. And what I mean by that, if you overrun a little bit, you could be in trouble. But definitely doesn't, you know, it's not the end of the world if he has to go into the 6 and 7 a little bit or that direction, but he'd rather not. First things first, though, pocket the ball. Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, a couple of strokes here in the last few games make me think, you know, that Jason has gotten a lot more comfortable, even trailing at 8-3. Now, it looks like he has a chance to stun between the 6-7 and play the 5 up long. I think so, anyways. Yeah, I think so. Just didn't want to catch the 6. If he catches a 7, it's not the end of the world, but okay, caught the 6 a little bit. He's going to be a little bit off angle. Not the end of the world, though, and he's close enough to it. Kind of feel like he can hold it. If he has to work this cue ball a little bit now, this could become tough. Don't really think tough is a manner of him really making a mistake, but all right, he's cueing downward, so it makes me think he can kind of cheat the angle and hold the cue ball. Nice shot. Okay, pretty decent there. I'd have wanted a hair more angle, but still should be okay. Yeah, he's just a little full on it, so but that's all right. You just got to hit it with a high right, kind of float just a little past the middle of the table.
Jason has kind of seized the momentum here now after Daniel opened up the big lead. He's really been controlling the table these last few racks. Chance to cut that lead in half here.
Well, two things are going on. He's gaining confidence, getting more loose, and he's sitting Daniel down a bit, you know. So don't expect Daniel to really bother him too much. But if he comes to the table with like a long, tough shot after sitting for a few games, that could mean a little something.
Get a little cold in that seat, don't you? There too long. Mind starts to wander a little bit.
There you go, 8-4.
Jason Sheerman picks up another game. He has chopped that lead in half. And holds the break as well. That's made a big difference in these last few games.
Yeah, and the balls are breaking nice. So you could see that he could keep this going if he ends up, you know, keeping on doing what he's doing with the break and getting shots after the break. So,
you know, you go back to that break Daniel had where he moved the position of the cue ball, and it seems like ever since then, because he scratched on that break. Have we seen him back at the table since?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I mean, you talk about turning points in a match.
Yeah. Jason had to shoot a long 2-ball, and he made a great shot to break out the 3, and he ended up getting snookered. He made a good kick shot. And the last shot Daniels had is he went for a long kind of crossover bank. I don't know if you remember.
That's right, yeah.
That's the last time he's been. But that was at 8 to 2.
Yeah.
It was a 3-ball, yeah.
It's amazing the little variations in where they take you in a match.
Oh, this is a sport. I mean, momentum can change very quickly. Instincts play a big part of it, and, you know, your mental game, of course. It's a stationary sport, so it's a big-time mental sport, but definitely a sport. And now here another great shot on the 1. The 2's very available. So it's all about just maintaining for Jason here.
Got the 8-ball in the break.
Probably just comes one rail with a hair of inside English, just directly at the 2-ball, like kind of on the line the cue ball's on now would be nice. He may not get that close to the 2, we'll see, but I like that. I think he can shoot the 2 from that kind of angle and kill the cue ball with a little inside English for the 3. If you pull the ball here with like left English and come 2 rails, you better have really good speed or else it can really get away from you. I like the 1 rail. See, here's the 2 rails I was talking about. And the speed is, you know, yeah, decent, but you can tell he's going to be going away from his next ball now. Now, if the 6 wasn't there, he could easily go 3 rails back into position, and I think he still can, but the 6 is almost exactly where you would want to hit that second rail to come back down. I think he's going to try and attack. Just has to figure out how he wants to do it. All right, he's going offensive. So he's got to not hit the 6. He's got to have good speed to clear coming 3 rails and watch out for the 7. And that's what it looked like to me, Jason. The 6 was almost exactly where you wanted to hit to come 3 rails. So he was trying to avoid it. It was just tough. And that's him. You know, he could have played the safety there, and he knew there was some danger. But that's just, you know, good players, they have that aggressive mentality. They want to keep their opponent in the chair if possible.
You can see Daniel moving around in the background, just trying to get the body moving a little bit. He's been sitting for a while, hoping for a chance to get back to the table and do some damage, extend that lead.
Yeah, unlike any other sport, and some are alternate break, of course, but the only sport that plays make it, take it at a high level, right, every other sport, if you score a game or you score a touchdown, you got to give the ball up, but not
Right.
here playing 9-ball. Well, that was a surprising miss on the kick. Not saying it was easy, but Jason has kicked so well the entire tournament that, you know, I kind of almost see him like, picture him as kind of like a student of it. You know, like he spent a lot of time working on kicking at the ball. So a little surprising to give up ball in hand there, but it wasn't easy.
And finally, an opportunity for Daniel to get back to the table. See if he can make the most
slow
of it.
down a little bit now.
Again, he's been
Okay.
sitting for a little while.
He's all right. Another 2 or 3 inches there on the roll. This 4 gets steep very quickly, but he's okay. Now he wants to get a little angle. That's perfect. Okay, so he has choices here. He can play one rail, he can come behind the 7, he can go above the 7. I wouldn't come behind it necessarily, but that's the way he decided to play it. A lot of times you'll get straight coming this way, and it makes things a little difficult to move the cue ball, but it's in a good spot now. Now it's like that, simply no miss. That's the main thing here.
Again, this is a race to 11.
Keeping it simple for the 7 in the corner.
Single elimination here.
Natural shape with a little draw stroke. Ooh, squeezed that one in. All right, it's going to be 9-4 and breaking for Daniel Gambill of Hickory, North Carolina. I'm interested to see. I know Jeff Abernathy from Hickory. He's won some of y'all's events before. I'm wondering if it's, I don't think it's the USAMs. Maybe he's won it.
He's not won a U.S. Amateur
Okay,
Championship.
you would remember that one.
Yeah. I do know the name, though.
Yeah.
He's been here, I think, on multiple occasions, but it's a tough one to win. I mean, there's several players that come out here that, you know, capable of taking down the tournament, but the field, it's just hard to get through it.
All right, we'll see what Dan decides to do with the break. Seems to me he's had his best results from the left side rail, but you know, some guys look at the rack, and there's so much information on the rack these days, Jason, that they look at the rack and that makes them determine on where they want to break from. So that could have a little something to do with what's going on here. The other thing that I look at is Jason was breaking so well from the other side also. Oh, that was like, they just 2 of them piled in the hole there.
Gets the 1 ball and the 7? No.
The 1 and the 3.
Yeah, 1 and the 3. There you go.
Okay, the 4 does go in the upper corner, and he's got a little bit of cueing with the right side of the cue ball, so you'd want to cut this in with a hair of right English, come down, either crash into the 4 or 5 or go by it for the 4 up in the corner. Tell you what, he makes this one and he comes away with a shot. I think Dan's going to get on the heel here. Big to make this, though, because you can always play safe if you don't like it on the 4. Wow, he went for the breakout. How good is he feeling? And a little unlucky, he doesn't have a pocket for the 4. We'll see what he wants to do. I don't think he has a pocket anyways. Maybe he does. Kind of felt like the 9 was in his way. Is he looking at a kiss shot here? Ooh, that's a toughie. I would have to entertain the safety. But again, these players are staying aggressive, so. Pretty unlucky there. He hit the 2 great. Cued it with a little inside English. All right, he's just going to rub the 4 downward. You try and use the 6 or the 9. It got away from just a little heavy with the speed. I like the idea of the shot, though. Maybe he's coming back to where the 8's at with the cue ball, something like that. That's me. He's got to go. That's a little light. He's going to leave the bottom of the 4, I think, to where Dan can shave the 4 and try and run the cue ball safe behind the 9-ish. All right, we're going to see Jason attack here on this bank. Oh, definitely we're going to see him attack. Doesn't have to do much with the cue ball. I think it's just kind of staring him straight in the face. So.
Oh.
Just a little long. The 8-ball's got the bank blocked here, though. So we'll see if Dan wants to take on a really thin cut in the side. Kind of doubt that, but maybe. Probably just chips the 4 to his right. Comes back to the end rail, trying to use the 6 and 9 to snooker.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate all you folks tuning in to this final round of the U.S. Amateur Championship.
A little heavy. So he may not end up liking this too much. We'll see. In a perfect world, Jason would just, come off the left side of the 4, banking the 4 up a little bit and putting the cue ball behind the 5. But this is the finals of the 2021 U.S. Amateurs, so nothing so easy. And especially when you're trailing 9-4, right, Jason?
Yes, sir. It's a tough gap.
It looks like a great cue ball to me.
Nice.
Really nice. And this is going to be a really tough 2-rail kick here.
This match got underway about hour and a half ago, so
Was
we're
it
about
that long
90
ago?
minutes
Okay.
in, yeah. Again, this is single elimination, so the final of the U.S. Amateur Championship is an extended race.
Boy, I'd do a lot to hit this one. This is tough. Wow.
Oh, my.
How well did he hit it? And he may end up not leaving much of a pocket if that ball bounces up. I mean, there is a pocket, but nothing easy. A little over the 5 with his cueing. Well, that was a spectacular hit there by Dan. One thing Jason's done that I really appreciate, he's stuck to it, meaning if it feels like the right shot is cutting at the 4 here, that's what he's going to do. And that's really how you get back in stroke and get back in the match. Watch out, 9-ball. It's going to be okay. Oh, my. Can the guy? I don't know. He may have gotten it, actually. Maybe. It's close. Body language tells me he can't make it. Maybe he can thin the edge of it, but that's not much here. He'll kick at this before he thins the ball trying to play safe. He'll try to kick safe here. I think anyways. That kind of stuff, though, really, to be honest with you, can knock the wind out of you a little bit, Jason,
Tough when you're trying to climb back in things to have to fight each and every shot.
He makes
Everything
such a
comes
great
so
shot.
difficult, yeah.
Yeah, great shot on the 4, and so. Okay, he's kicking and trying to stick the cue ball there. So don't let up on the stroke. The draw will come off the ball. Oh, he hit it great. Hit it great. Now Dan probably wants to follow the same route the 4 took. He could kick long rail, you know, up to the top of your screen, or, you know, not long rail, but to the top rail, and try and, you know, take a chance of more making the 4, but a little tougher hit that way. I think he's got to kick 2 rails. Maybe he makes it in the upper right corner. Maybe he makes it in the right side. If he kicks 2 rails, the cue ball could drag across behind the 9. It's a possibility. Could get behind the 6 with the cue ball. I don't like the soft kick here. I like putting a little speed on this. Yeah, I like that. And see how the cue ball's coming over by the 9, so it's going to leave another tough shot. So these guys are fighting.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, now he's got to cut the 5 with a lot of concern of not only a tough shot, but the cue ball going towards the 7. Don't think he's playing safe behind the 7. He might be, because this is touchy. I think he's got to be going for it, though. I would think he's overcut it. He's going to want the cue ball to run there. What happens there is you don't want to avoid the 7. I mean, you don't want to hit the 7. You want to avoid it. So it kind of makes you, like, steer the cue ball a little bit on the contact on the 5. And I see it all the time. I do it all the time. Kind of help the cue ball out, and it ends up costing you missing the ball maybe, but. All right, you can see, I mean, he's going to have to make a good shot on the 8 here in a moment, but these are set up for Daniel to get on the hill. Okay, he wants a little angle on the 8. Not a big angle. About where he's at now is about the max angle he wants on the 8. That's about where he got. Look at that. It just replaced the cue ball, essentially. All right. So the ball, I don't think it's quite froze. If it is, you've got to be a little more aware of things. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, yeah. Ball's froze and you try to come backwards with the cue ball, you really have to hit it well.
All right. Well, we're likely to see another one on the board for Mr. Sheerman. Making things interesting here.
Jason not taking anything for granted.
Pockets
Nice
that
shot.
9 in the corner. Now 9-5. Just as it looked like Daniel Gambill would be on the hill.
Yeah, he's got to shake that off.
The tables are turned.
And he figures to get another chance here, so.
While we got a moment, remind you folks, if you're interested in competing in the U.S. Amateur Championship next year, you can go to usam.poolplayers.com. You can actually enter today. Preliminary window is now open. The preliminary rounds will be held in September. I'm guessing we will end up with a second preliminary round later in the year, but for now, just announcing the September dates. So if you want to compete in next year's U.S. Amateur Championship, if you think you've got what it takes, the first step is signing up.
So does that mean you're debating keeping it in March, maybe?
We're talking about it, yeah,
Okay.
because of the way things have kind of shaked out with moving the April event to August, the August event to October. We're not going to do another USAM later this year,
Right.
so we may end up looking at doing it again in the February, March. We're still trying to kind of figure that out. Again, there's still so many moving pieces until we can be sure we're going to be back in Vegas in August. It's tough to make final decisions, but certainly a possibility that the USAM may be moving dates.
Cue ball got an awful kiss there. I saw it just right from the get. So he's going to have to shake that off if he gets back to the table, but pretty unfortunate. It wasn't his best hit on the 1, I will admit that, but now the 9, what's that look like off the 7? That's real close to like dead off the 7. I'm not saying you would shoot it with the 2, but I think it's possible. Now the run out's there. I think the 7 does go. A lot of times, like when the 7, say it doesn't go, it's attached to the 9 there. You got to look and see where the 9's aimed. I bet the 9's close to being straight in the side pocket there. Oh, watch out. All right. Got my heart rate going a little bit. Now, can he just stop right there and have a nice shot on the 3? Like stop right there in between the, is he thinking about breaking out the 7-9 right here? I think the 7-9's like wired in the side. Looks like he's going to go forward. Now looking to maybe get elevated. Oh, he got the cue ball to escape. So easily he could have been over top of the 7 there, and now he's sitting in a decent position.
Danielle, no further decisions on the event in August just yet. I think we feel good about our chances at this point, just kind of based on the way things are going, but Las Vegas has still officially not allowed large-scale events to return. We're hoping to see that change in early May. I know there's some big events slated for June out there, non-pool related events, one of which is the nightclub and bar show.
He's going to fall a little straight here, so he's going to have to work a little bit more than desired probably. I don't know if he can get the cue ball up for a short pocket. He may have to play the 7 up long. And I thought he could go forward on the 5, but obviously drawing the cue ball over so easily, he had more angle than I thought. So you can see him kind of lining up for that side pocket, maybe just holding the cue ball off the rail here on the 6. Was he hitting a high ball? Is he trying to cheat this? Get out, get the cue ball out? Oh, he's going to have to talk to it, Jason. He's going to have to say something. Well, now decisions. Do I bank it away and try and just draw the cue ball back behind the 9 here? Or do I attack? It's hard to pull on the reins when you're in this position. You know, if you had a little caddy there next to you, they might be able to talk you out of this.
Yeah.
But, you know, really it looks like the safety's probably the best shot. But he's wanting to attack. He's wanting to win this thing himself. So he's not wanting to let Jason back to the table. Like I said, I think just really he's close to it. Just knock the 7 away, draw the cue ball back 2 or 3 inches back where it's at now. He's shooting. Wow, what a shot. And now what? Whew. Yee. Well, if he makes it, we're going to get to see a nice one, I'll tell you that. All right, he's queuing down on it. You'll be able to hear the pocket if he makes it, I'll tell you that.
Oh.
It's not going to leave anything easy. Yeah, that's just about as tough of the shot that Dan had.
That'll bring Jason Sheerman back to the table.
Oof. And we can see that ball froze to the rail. So coming backwards off this ball is like 1 out of 10. So I don't know. It's not an easy shot just to make, anyways. Tell you, if there was an easy safety here, meaning just something that he could get some separation or something like that, you may see Jason do that, but nothing easy there either. Any suggestions, Jason? See anything you like?
Close your eyes and hope. It's typically what I do in this situation.
Hit it hard and right-handed?
Smash
You are
it.
right-handed.
Smash
Are you
it.
right-handed?
Yes,
Okay.
I am a righty.
All right, cueing down on the ball, so very difficult to make this ball and come backwards. Like I said, normally this 8 wants to pull off the rail. Yeah, just like that. It's just, and nothing to, oh, look at this. He's going to elevate him over the 9.
Yeah.
Wow. Pull's amazing. Pull is amazing. Another spot, if you can find some type of safety, that's really probably the shot. Well, we haven't had any drama outside the pool table, but we've had some on the pool table.
Absolutely. Looked like Daniel Gambill was going to run away with this championship match, but Jason Sheerman slowly but surely working his way back in there.
And he's looking to see if, man, if I can roll this ball in, what kind of shot am I going to take on the 9? And I don't mind that thought. It's just, man, what a tough shot just to even roll in. You know, if the roll in was a gimme, I would say, yes, this is definitely the right decision. And it's probably the right decision anyways, but even rolling this ball in is no gimme at all. And he's left the cue ball on the rail. So, nothing easy for Jason. All right, taking it on the corner. Nice shot. All right, 9-6
Score is now 9-6.
Yeah.
Woo! You thought this was going to be a landslide. You were wrong. Daniel's got to be feeling some pressure at this point. I mean,
Yeah, that's just
up 8-1.
yeah, human nature after having a few opportunities, you know. Nothing easy, but
From 8-1 to 9-6. I think Jason's taking a quick break. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back in just a moment.
We come from all walks of life.
Different backgrounds.
Different abilities. We all have different reasons for doing what we do.
But we're all one.
One love.
One passion, one big family.
are.
We are
American Pool Players.
American Pool Players.
American Pool Players.
And this is our league.
Las Vegas. For most, the ultimate party destination. A place to run wild and leave the routine behind. But for a pool player, it's so much more. Their ultimate goal, their grandest stage, their biggest moment. It's time to take your Vegas fate into your own hands. 1. Compete and win a local qualifying board to advance to a regional event. 2. Once there, be a top finisher in your own skill level tier. 3. Win a trip to Las Vegas to compete in the APA Pool Player Championships. 4. Own your biggest moment on pool's grandest stage. Take your Vegas fate into your own hands today. Realize your Vegas destiny tomorrow.
Well, Jason Sheerman back at the table. He will have the break.
9-6, right? 9-6. So definitely within striking distance now. And earlier, starting to make this comeback, he'd win a game, then break and run out, you know. So a break and run here would go a long ways, keeping the heat on Dan. Okay, nothing down yet. The one ball's coming back near the cue ball, so that usually means it's going to give up a shot. I think it has. I'm not sure if he has the corner, the side or not. Definitely has the corner, but I think he does have the side. And that's going to bode well for getting to go forward to get on the 2 ball. Now the 3, I'm not sure if it goes by the 8. If it does, that gives him some good options to get from the 3 to the 4. But what you might say is another prime opportunity to get on that hill, Jason.
Absolutely.
These guys get that starter on the 1. They're not in the finals for no reason. They can get out.
Oh. Well, here we go again. Jason back at the table.
Okay, touchy little shot here. Can't afford to get too thin on the 3. So you would think coming 2 rails back and forth would be great, but at this angle he might get kind of on top of the 3. We'll see. This is what I was talking about. See how he's gotten thin now? So now you may have to play the 3 in the side and direct traffic, get through the traffic that way. Kind of might have needed to slow pull that 2 ball out 1 rail. Maybe across the spot or something like that. But so now I think the cut in the side is playable, and I think he can find a path to get between all them balls. It's just a matter of, a little execution and direction. I think with right English, he goes 1, 2 between the 5, 7, all the way around. Now it looks like he's cueing it with low. That may tell me he may get a little deep here. Watch out for the 3 rail scratch in the corner. Watch out for this corner right here is the one I was talking about. I don't think it's going to get there, but yeah. But once he started cueing it with a little low, I kind of figured that 3-rail scratch was a possibility. But all right, he's going to go for this, and he's supposed to. A little slow roll on the side. And he could actually shoot it with speed if he wants and come back and maybe bump the 4 or something like that. So it's up to Dan how he wants to cue it. Nice shot. Nice shot. That one right there should give some confidence to get through this rack. We'll see, but that was one tough shot under the circumstances. All right, do you apply a little right English here and go by the 6? Not sure what he's looking at here. Okay, he's just, I don't know if he's gonna get a cut, but it ain't gonna be easy.
I'm told our first ever U.S. Amateur Champion, Ron Park, is tuning in, which is good to hear.
That's
Ron,
great,
we hear
yeah.
you're battling COVID back home, and we want to wish you the very best. Again, our first ever U.S. Amateur Champion back in 1994, I believe. We are all rooting for you.
Yeah, back then I played in some regional tournaments around Atlanta, and Ron put it on me a few times. I think a little bit before 94, maybe 92, 93, something like that. But been a really solid player for a long time, and prayers are with you, Ron.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, it's been kind of the theme the last few games. Opportunity for Dan, but just, you know, a little one thing or another got to him. Now Jason wants to catch just one rail here.
Boy, Daniel was so in control early on.
Yeah.
It seems like everything has turned around here now.
Yeah, and he seemed great right there. He made a great shot on the 3. I mean, a little dicey from the 4 to the 5, but he got there and just caught the 5 a little thick to the hole. And after this game, or even prior to this game, you kind of figured there'd be a 9-6 lead or a 9-7 lead. It's hard to trade games, so now we're getting to where a position in the match to where we just kind of figured we'd be. Maybe not knowing who was going to be in the lead, of course, but, you know, just kind of figure someone to have a couple game lead coming towards the end.
Credit to Jason, too, for hanging in there. Would have been easy to put your head down early on, down 8-1, and kind of write it off as a loss, but he stuck with it. Battled back. Looking to pull within 2 games. Got to be feeling much better about his chances at this point.
All right, feels great.
Especially the way this match has turned around.
I think if you asked him right now, he'd tell you he's the favorite. I mean, that's just the mentality that better players have, but still, I think he probably believes it, you know? I mean, why wouldn't you?
All right. Now 9-7. Daniel still with a 2-game lead, but that lead has narrowed down quite a bit. Jason will have the break again.
Wow. Little inspection of the rack, and Seems to me the balls have been breaking great. We haven't seen, you know, a ball every time in the 9-ball side of this, but the majority, when the guys have hit them well, they've made balls. Okay, so Jason gonna do what he's been doing, not backing off. Kind of using a little bit of a cut break right there. The 1 ball really tracking. And he's going to get a great starter with the 2 and the 3 in position. The 4's up table a little bit, but making the 5 and 6 on the break. Going to have us a 9-8 match in a minute, I think, folks. Shot. And we'll see if he wants to play the 3 in the corner or come back for the side. He's got to get past it a little bit, or at least straight on it if he goes for the side. Nothing wrong if he wants to go with the side. I mean, it's very doable, you know. I always preach to people, don't move too much to go for a side pocket. You know, when it's natural to play in the corner, and now here's one of them situations you fall on the wrong side. Now you have to manufacture a lot more. But that situation, I thought it was such an easy execution to get in the 3 in the side. I didn't mind that decision. But generally, a lot of times, it's hard to get out of line for them corners. And Jason broke very nicely, had a good shot on the 1 and made a good shot on the 1 and 2, but now a little bit out of line on the 3, even though it's an easy shot in the side. The 9 and the 7, not only the 8, really kind of disturbing the path he'd like to run the cue ball.
Well, I mentioned earlier, first round of the day, Jason went back and forth with Jason Jones from that 8-ball set, and then once we got to the 9-ball, it was all Jason Sheerman. So kind of what we've seen here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it looks like he's going to draw this one rail, not touching the right side rail at all, just come the in rail. Trying to juice it. Needs to go a little bit. Pretty decent. Similar shot that actually Dan missed in the last game on the 4-ball. He's okay here. Again, he may have to just let the cue ball run a little bit, but did you see that big upset? I just saw that in between games. Number 1 seed Illinois got beat by Loyola today.
Really? I did not see that.
Yeah, badly too. About like 15 or something.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
That's why they call it March Madness, right?
It is crazy. Maybe the maddest year of March Madness you may ever see. Okay, is he going to float this, or is he going to go 4 rails? Okay, he's floating it. Nice shot. And that's the thing when you're trying to hit a ball light, right? It's almost like you always hit it much lighter than you even think's possible. So now he's a little bit on the backside of the 7. So speed on the cue ball isn't going to be a problem. Just making the ball in direction of the cue ball. And those are the 2 priorities.
Apparently everybody back home at Shooters in Port St. Lucie is tuning in, rooting Jason on. So shout out to all the folks at Shooters Billiards.
Yeah, my buddy said it was a pretty nice pool room as well. Just asked him about that earlier. Okay, looks like he's spinning this a little bit, so he may go towards the 8 here off of 2 rails. All right, pretty good shot. Real good shot.
Jeremy, I got some folks lobbying for Jason to be on the Moscone team. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Well, nothing wrong with that. I keep telling everybody, it's all a numbers game. The more players out there trying to make the team, it's better for America.
Absolutely. Pockets at 8 in the side.
Little on the 50 here.
See, a little straightish.
Straightish, yeah. Well, a little on top of it, anyways. But yeah, you could say a different type of straightish, but definitely he wanted a little more, you know. But the thing about this is you guard on one side or the other. This is definitely the side you guard on, because if he overhits it, the back cut from underneath the 9 is much more difficult. So this is a shot that not something you set up for, but pretty standard that this comes up every now and again on the 9. Oh,
Nice.
Smoothed it right on in. 9-8.
Well, well, well. Poles within a game. This is the kind of final you hope for. Daniel Gambill once led 8-1.
And 9-2.
And
right?
then 9-2. And it is now 9-8.
May have been 9-3, but I think it was 9-2. I think it was.
Sheerman with the break again.
I think he won 2 out of the first 3 games of the 9-ball, I think.
Well, it's been all Jason in the 9-ball set.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see Jason change a thing with the break shot. Last couple, he's played a little bit of a hair of a cut break, you might say, like a firm cut break. And sometimes the guys will do that if they see the ball's breaking really well. And the one thing about the cut break is if you're breaking from the left, you're hitting the one just a hair on the left. So that scratch in that opposite side pocket becomes kind of a moot point, no chance of it happening.
Our viewership has swelled well over 1,000 now. If you're just finding us on your news feed, this is the championship match from this year's U.S. Amateur Championship being held at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, brought to you by the American Pool Players Association.
Oh, that corner ball rattled that time. So I'll tell you, here's a chance. And a 2-9 maybe? Not saying he wants to do that, but he'll definitely give it a little bit of a glance at least.
I'm sure he'd love to do anything to break Jason's momentum.
Well, getting on the 2 to get on the 3 is not easy anyways. Now, if he plays the 2-9, he'll have to cut the 1, I think, go back and forth 3 rails to maybe get some kind of shot on it. It's a thin cut on the 1, if I remember correctly, but one he should shoot at. So here's what I'm talking about. You can make the 2, right, but you're going into the 9. Not sure you're going to be able to escape with the cue ball. Not only is it a tough shot on the 2, but like I said, where are you going with the cue ball? He could scratch if he follows this off the 9 in the same pocket as the 2. Yeah, I was a little worried about that. Now we might see the jump cue. He had one jump earlier that he didn't get over. It wasn't easy, though.
Yeah, you attempted another jump when you were grabbing a bite that did not work out quite as well as that early jump, where he jumped his own ball.
Oh yeah,
Remember
that's right.
that?
Yeah, in the 8 ball.
Nice
Yeah,
shot.
I can't remember ever seeing it before.
Jumped his own ball. So.
That's right. Yeah, he jumped 1 in the 9 ball set. Oh no, maybe it was the 8 ball and the 5 ball. I think it was where he didn't quite get over it. And I was commenting to my friend that he's a tall guy. He should have no problem, but. Oh, good effort. Is the 3 going to go? It looks like it is. Well, he doesn't have a pocket for the 4, but he sure is happy to still be at the table. Tough spot here, though. I mean, not an easy safety, just right off hand that I see. Not easy at all. I'm not sure what the shot is here.
Of course, the winner of this event moves on to a pro event in 2022 with entry and airfare, lodging, all paid by APA. And they also get to return here and defend their title. But again, I think most folks, what they want most is their name on that U.S. Amateur Championship trophy.
Yeah.
Carry that title.
How else are they going to get it on there again if they don't get it on there once, right? Like, I know Brian has the most. I think Tina Larson probably is second, right?
3 times. Henry Broad, a 3-time champion as well. You know King Henry? You know Henry
I
Broad?
don't know if I know him or not. I know the name.
Used to be out of Illinois. He's now retired to California. Was living in Laguna Beach or somewhere really nice like that.
How sweet it is.
Yeah,
right?
King Henry. It's been a few years since I've seen Henry. Hope he's doing well.
All right, long, tough shot on the 4. And he overcut it. All right, I think you'll see Daniel attack here on this cross-side bank. It's not necessarily a total two-way shot, but you figure to leave a very tough return if you do miss. I think anyways. I think he can kind of hold the cue ball up while banking at the 4. Well, it looks like he's going to play safe. Maybe put the cue ball behind the 6. It's a touchy shot. He could cut the 4 towards the 6, come back and use the 9 as a safety. I like him banking at it. I really do. I think he just sized it up. I mean, you can definitely sell out banking at it. You can leave an easy shot, but it's hard to. I think he's banking at it. I like that shot. I think, anyways. Yeah, he overdrew the ball a little bit, but have to get the bridge. All right, he's going to run the cue ball, I think, anyways. Oh, he's trying to use a 7, so it can't leave the gap. He left the gap. So we're just a few shots away from being tied up kind of from nowhere. I think he can get at this to make it. I know he can get at it to hit it, but pretty sure he can make it.
Got it.
Needs a little more speed out of the cue ball. Probably wanted to be a little closer to his work on the 6 here, but tell you what, he's looked pretty good the last, what, hour of the match.
Been dominant the last hour of this match.
Mm-hmm.
Getting our money's worth here, no doubt about it.
He's got a nice little angle, so even though he's some distance away, doesn't have to cue it too firm to get the cue ball off the rail here. This nice clean stroke here, about medium speed. Nice shot. or he's going to want to draw back. So he's got to be a little careful not to fall straight in on the rail. I don't think it's easy to do that from here, but it's amazing how that happens when you don't put a little thought into the cue ball. So just draw a little past the side should be good. All right, getting straight-ish. Oh, I think he's real straight, actually. Looks like he can cheat it a little bit with the high ball.
Jason Sheerman now a 9-ball away from tying things up. Daniel Gambill, this championship final. About 2 hours into this match now, a little over 2 hours. This race to 11.
Kind of like high ball on this one, I think.
Big shot here for Jason.
Yeah, I don't like drawing this one as much. I think he's going with a medium high ball here.
He's got it.
Yeah, 9-9.
We are tied up, folks. 9 games apiece. Once down, 8-1. Now tied 9-9. Jason Sheerman still holds the break.
Yeah, things have definitely changed. Began the match, Jason probably was talking to himself a bit more, and now it's probably totally the opposite. It's probably Daniel having some mild conversations with himself.
Oh, sure. Quite the finale here at Strokers in Palm Harbor to this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Been a great tournament. This has turned into a fantastic final. One of these players will be on the hill at the conclusion of this game. Jason takes a look at the rack there.
Well, I would have said it before the match, but I definitely think Hill's coming.
This race to 11 is now a race to 2.
Okay, the one's coming back with a cue ball. That's always a nice sign. What's the 7 going to do? It's out of the way, and whew, Jason looks pretty good here. Should just hit this with a little high left English. Yeah, just come one rail towards the 2. The 2 does pass the 6. So nothing extra here. A lot of times players won't see that natural little one rail easy position. Sometimes they're always wanting to move it 2, and I understand why. You just get a little more control, you feel, but the 2 does pass the 6. No problem. So like I said, it should just be a little flick of the 1 with a little high left. Come up by the head string with the cue ball and get nice and straight. He's going to overrun. He's going to get a little over the 8. Not too badly, though, but I would like that cue ball to stop in a little 2-3 inches shorter of where it's at, but it should be fine. shot. That was a 4 pass, though. It's close. Not so sure he can shoot the 3 in the corner and follow past the side or not. That angle tells me he might catch the point on the side. He's a little thin cutting the 3 in the side. So I think he got in a funny little position here, Jason. You know, the camera will fool us all the time.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen many mistakes from Jason the last, I don't know, 6, 7 racks. I mean, very few mistakes. Well, we've seen what Jason Sheerman's made of mentally. Let's see what Daniel's got, because
Daniel's
definitely turned.
Yeah, he's just praying that he gets a chance to show us what he's got. So I think the 4 does go, even though it's tight. I tried to look from that last camera angle. Maybe not. Because he put a lot of inside on that ball, making me think he was trying to get to the other side of the table, maybe. I don't know. That was a odd shot, meaning not the way he struck it, but just the what situation he was in. So I think the 4 does go, though. May only have like 2/3 of the pocket, but oh, he has to play safe. Okay. Is he going to creep behind the 8? No. So Daniel's going to get a little look here. I don't know what you do here. I mean, you don't have enough of the 4 to bank it, I don't think, anyways. Maybe he does. Yeah, I think he does, actually. He may be going for this. It's going to end up in front of the side, it looks like. Well, yeah, just leaked out enough. I don't blame him going for it there, though. That was a tough spot. I mean, what I mean by that is you could easily go for a safety and give up an easy shot like this as well.
Daniel's going to take a quick break there. While he does that, we're going to take a quick break here. Walked away mid-rack, huh?
We come from all walks of life.
Different backgrounds.
Different abilities. We all have different reasons for doing what we do.
But we're all one.
One love.
One passion. One big family.
We are
American Pool Players.
American Pool Players.
American Pool Players.
And this is our league.
All right, so we are back here.
All right, he's got to cut the 4 in. Cue ball's definitely going to be moving. One thing is, if he plays a 3-rail angle, he may end up getting a little straight on the 6, and he's got to work the cue ball back off to the 7. All right, he was trying to kill it there. Very aware of keeping this angle on the 6, so smart shot there by Jason. Now he's real natural to pull the ball 2 rails, catching the 3rd rail over by the long rail for the 7 in that near pocket. So in a great spot. Looking what I think is to win his 8th game in a row. I really do believe he was down 9-2. It may have been 9-3, but I know it was a lot to a little, Jason.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Okay, got the cue ball off the rail, so that always helps.
Seven in the corner.
Yeah, just perfect on the 8, just to slow draw the ball back across to the other side of the table. What I mean by slow draw is just, you don't want the cue ball moving fast, right? Just kind of coasting into position. I don't think he'll catch the 2nd rail here. There you go.
Folks, Jason Sheerman is a 9-ball away from taking the lead. 10-9, that would put him on the hill, needing just one more game
to
take home the title here. In what has been a massive comeback.
Now, did they finish the 8-ball at 7-1 or 6-2?
I thought it was 7-1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 6-0. I know that.
Yeah.
To start the match.
Woo.
Wow.
So, folks, Jason Sheerman is one game away from being your new U.S. Amateur Champion.
Yeah, and win or lose, the epitome of don't ever give up. Jimmy V, right? Jimmy Valvano.
Yeah, it was 7-1 after the 8-ball set. Unbelievable. I don't know that we've ever seen a comeback like this in the U.S. Amateur Championship.
Yeah,
not in recent memory, at least.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen. I think I saw a 6-2 a couple years ago. Comeback. I was going to ask you too. How did Jason Richko do a couple years ago? He made a deep run too, like 5th, 6th, or 4th.
Jason won back in 2011, I believe. He
Yeah,
won
but
the championship.
Yeah, a couple years ago though. I know the first time I was here, when Blake won, he also made a deep run in that event. I think around 4th or 5th, 6th, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I remember I was recalling him and Blake playing yesterday, and I was wondering if they had played the last time we were all here in Palm Harbor as strokers.
Jason Sheerman with the break.
All right, he's got the corner ball down. Watch out, cue ball. It's a spinning. Is the one going to get up for a shot? It doesn't appear so. So Dan should get back to the table, even though, it may be a position he's not in love with, but better than being in the chair, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you, a real deft touch safety here is chipping the 1 and trying to guide the cue ball up behind the 3. The good thing about that safety is it's not too hard. It's just a natural rolling hit on the 1. But if you do happen to not get the snooker, you probably leave a very long, difficult shot on the 1 for Dan. Anything else? I don't see much of anything else that looks good to me. I said it's a touchy shot. So you're going to just play the 1 down the table maybe and bring the cue ball behind the 7. Oh, Dan may get something here. Well, that's a little fortunate there. Not what Jason intended, but we saw some of that early in the match on the flip side, right? Little rolls here and there for Dan, and behind some great shooting, and now tides have turned a little bit. Really what looks like another jump shot. Now the good thing about this one is he's only got to go over a piece of the 5. Being jacked up on the 6 doesn't matter that much when you got to jump it anyways, and he's got a little bit of a big pocket on the 3 with the 3 being there. So wouldn't be surprised if he buries this one. Need some luck. 8 ball. Shot on the 1. 3's down.
Wow.
Wow, that's right.
Turn of events there.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be fitting to have a Hill final?
Yeah, for sure. These guys working their tails off the last few days. Why? Let's just go to the, ultimate climax, right?
Mm-hmm. See if Daniel can regroup here.
I like him taking that extra little time, even though he knows he's probably just kind of holding his ball there. I'll tell you what, he's still pretty loose. He didn't back off of that, Jason. He fired it down the rail. He's going to draw the cue ball the rail, it looks like anyways. Well, in a great spot. Just got to come across the table. 6 in the corner, 7 in the side most likely. Kind of see it there with that camera view. Ooh. Squeezed it home. Now he definitely takes the 7 in the side with this 6 ball angle, I would think anyways. Just wants to bounce off that end rail a little bit and just kind of go towards the 7. Don't think he's going to hit a high ball. Yeah, there you go. Just like that. Don't take your eye off of it, because you kind of got to draw this a little bit, it looks like. So the side pocket becomes a little smaller when you got to draw the ball.
Yep. Daniel Gambill now with an opportunity to go to the hill. Make this a 1-game race for the championship. Oh, no, folks. Oh, my.
Yeah. Never want to see it go like that.
Well, Jason Sheerman going to take one last shot on the 9 ball here.
And
this would be for the win.
Don't see anything, any kind of issues, of course, but just thinking for Dan that stinks, and hope he can shake that off. I know it's going to take a little minute, but hats off to Jason Sheerman.
There you have it, folks. Quite the comeback. Jason Sheerman, Port St. Lucie, Florida, is your 2020-2021 U.S. Amateur Champion, mounting a massive comeback here in the finals. Great job by Jason. Great job by Dan Gambill, too, to make it here to the final of this event.
Yeah.
To all of our participants that joined us this year, we want to say thank you for coming out. It's been a great event. To all of our viewers, we appreciate you all tuning in. Hope you guys have enjoyed the ride here from Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Make sure we thank our hosts, Jose Del Rio, and all the folks here at Strokers for taking such good care of us. And with that said, it's time to hand out the hardware. We'll see if we can't get Jason Sheerman over here in a few minutes for a little post-match interview. But for now, Jason Bowman, Jeremy Jones, and we are signing off. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Thanks to the players, and more APA to come in the future.